When this DuckTales reboot was first announced, I was interested in watching it for a couple of reasons. First being the cast. I know some of the cast members from other things, and the second reason I was interested was I was already interested in watching the original, but simply never watched it. Anyway, I'll go into more details about the cast and my extra thoughts later. I'll keep it brief for the story, as a lot does happen in this one, but nothing complex story-wise happens, and there aren't any big realizations about characters you thought were good, but are now bad since this is only the first episode. Donald Duck drops his nephews Huey, Dewey and Louie off with his uncle Scrooge McDuck, the bajillionaire, while he takes a job interview. The kids befriend Webby, whom lives at Scrooge's house with her grandma, Mrs. Beakley. The kids then cause a ghost to appear when messing with some artifacts, because of course they do. Scrooge, in anger after the kids cause a ghost to appear, causes a dragon to appear, but he manages to stop it before it destroys his gold. Scrooge, the kids, including Webby, and Launchpad, a pilot that works for Scrooge, set off to Atlantis. Apparently Launchpad also understands how to use a submarine. I'll stop spoiling the story there, go watch it. Let's just say that Scrooge has an enemy that Donald just happens to get a job for in this episode. Right, now I will try to stop spoiling stuff. I don't have too much to say about the animation other than it's very reminiscent of the Gravity Falls style. That similar style was good for Gravity Falls, and so far it's good for this. The style just seems to evoke a sense of mystery. Scrooge is the grumpy old great uncle of Huey, Dewey and Louie. He's old, he's grumpy, but he does have a sense of adventure. Huey is the most difficult to describe personality-wise when it comes to the three main kids. I think he's supposed to be the leader of the three of them, though it is a little hard to tell. I'm sure we'll learn more about him as the series goes on though. Out of the three kids, Dewey is the character we got to see the most from in this episode, or if not, he at least made the biggest impression on me. He's clearly the most confident and adventurous one of the three of them. Louie seems pretty calm throughout, and I'm not sure if he's supposed to be the funny one, but it certainly felt like that as he actually got a few pretty funny lines. Webby is the enthusiastic character. There were multiple moments in this episode where she was shouting, and I thought she sounded very similar to Christian Charles shouting, which I always find pretty funny. Launchpad seems pretty clumsy and reckless. I can't say for sure, but I'm predicting he will be the optimistic dumb guy in the future. Donald is like every incarnation of Donald. He's hard to understand and he's prone to anger. Mrs. Beakley seems to be a strong female character. I wouldn't call her scary, but she isn't a pushover. Out of all of the main characters, she got the least amount of screen time in the first episode, so I would really need to see more from her to determine if I like her. And finally we have Flintheart Glomgold, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He just comes across as very aggressive and will get what he wants by any means possible. He's also very Scottish, more Scottish than Scrooge. I mean, did you see that kilt? Since this isn't really a review and it's my first impressions of the series, I'm not going to be going over all of the voice actors' work, more just what I personally know them from. Scrooge is voiced by David Tennant. I haven't seen Doctor Who, but that seems to be what he's most well known for. All I really know about him, other than Doctor Who, is that he's Scottish, so that's at least good since Scrooge is Scottish, and I'd rather have someone who is actually Scottish than someone doing a fake accent. Danny Pudi is Huey, and one of my main convincers to watch this, as he plays Abed in Community, and for me Community is one of the best sitcoms of all time. Ben Schwartz is Dewey, and is actually my main reason for watching this. I'm slowly going through Parks and Recreation, currently halfway through Season 5, and his character Jean-Ralphio is one of my all-time favourite sitcom characters, despite the little screen time. When Jean-Ralphio took the accounting job, I couldn't stop laughing, and I knew at that moment I needed to watch DuckTales, because he has such a unique charm.
You don't have any accounting experience?
No, Barney, come on. But you don't have to be an accountant to know that this girl is a 10. Yo, what up, DS? You come here often?
To my job?
Ooh, she's got a mouth on her also. Shut it.
Is this the new temp who's supposed to help me with the spreadsheets?
You want to talk about spreading in sheets? We can go back to my place and I will rock your...
You're fired!
That makes sense. So I just go out the same way I came in?
Bobby Moynihan I don't really know anything about. I'm aware he does some Saturday Night Live stuff, and he voices Louie in this reboot, but other than that, I got nothing. Next. Kate Micucci is Webby. I know her from a few things, and I do like her. She was in Scrubs, and I liked her in that. She was in The Big Bang Theory, a show I like less every time I see another episode, and she makes songs. The only song of hers I'm aware of is called Fuck Me in the Ass Because I Love Jesus. Yeah. Next. Beck Bennett. Nope, nothing. Next. I'm sorry, I'd feel bad if I tried to pronounce that name. It'll be on the screen now, and I have nothing. Next. Tony Anselmo is Donald Duck. Next. Lastly, out of the people we have actually seen is Keith Ferguson. Nope, got nothing. Next. There are more cast members being added according to an article I read. That might not even be factual, so here they are. Paul F. Tompkins I know as Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack. I'm extremely excited to see something from him, since he's my favourite character in that show. Jim Rash I know as Dean Pelton from Community, so extremely excited to see him since he's one of my favourite characters from that show. He's also won an Oscar for his writing, but I think he deserves an Emmy too for his Deangasm.
And take those off.
Because they make me look good.
That's not relevant.
Ah, welcome back, Jeffrey. How was your... Oh my God, even his shadow. Look at his shadow!
Alison Janney I know nothing about. Next. Margot Martindale I know as character actress Margot Martindale from BoJack. She's the character I look forward to seeing the most in BoJack Horseman. Well, her and Sarah Lynn. I think you should all give the DuckTales reboot a chance and watch the first episode and see what you think, unless you have absolutely no interest in it. I'm hoping that the cast I listed and this video in general might have helped encourage at least a couple of you to give it a chance. The first episode was really good. Not the funniest of shows, but it had its moments, but the story was really good. It seems like it's going to have an ongoing story judging by the last scene in episode 1, which tells me there will be plenty of character development and surprises. I'd say the premiere was about a 7, or maybe even an 8 out of 10, which is really good by my standards for a pilot, as I give most pilots even from shows I love a 6. If I had to pick between a 7 and an 8, I'd probably give it a 7 just because pilots make it hard for you to connect with the characters. This show has got my attention straight away, and I look forward to seeing what they're going to do next. So until next time guys, bye I guess.